My goodness, I've got some really bad lighting today and it's really not doing very well. Um, what's going to go on here? It started clouding up. It's only 4 o'clock. It's weird. Well, 4:43. Very, very weird. But anyway, let's do what I can do. I just wanted to kind of go over some things that have come up, and um, well, there's one thing that was really kind of disturbing. And that there was a gentleman who did a TikTok video, and it came across um, my feed in on Facebook, which incidentally they made me take one of my papers. It was actually it's not a meme. It was just to kind of tell you what's been going on, and there was like a picture of a group and then some, things on there telling you, how much this person's done and that person's done and everything. And it was interesting. They made me take it down because they said that it was partially false, which usually means that it's a lot more truth than false. And basically, that it's truth with something that they don't want you to talk about. And that's pretty much what it was. Uh, Sorry about that. I've got my laptop on my lap today, and I really need to set it down, but my back is bothering me, so I'm kind of sitting in a strange chair. So anyway, this gentleman, he gets on there and he's talking about how he broke down languages, and in each language there was a particular letter that matched up with DNA sequences. And when you spelled it out, it was God within God within you. And I thought, no wonder they're after our DNA. I mean, it's that's pretty telling. But anyway, those people that are doing that are actually very cunning and very in your face about everything. And so I wrote something on who we're up against, because the reality is that this is a spiritual war. It's boy, this is really annoying. Maybe that'll work. Maybe a little bit. Yeah. I'm really sorry that the it's grainy today. And I'm trying to get it so that it's maybe not quite so grainy, but oh well. I'm not a tech person, so I wrote down a few notes and stuff, and basically while we were all sleeping, they, quote unquote, illegally impeached our president twice. They, quote unquote, illegally spied on him and his administration. They, quote unquote, illegally stole billions, trillions, and I don't know if this is true, but zillions of dollars from us over the years. And they've done numerous, and it's been way more than 25 times tried to uh, kill our president. Um, they have killed innumerable people that have stood in their way or stood up to their corruption. And anyone who had information on corruption and law breaking on them died, or they were illegally put in um, prison and considered enemy combatants. And we really have been living in a banana republic for a few years now. And, I mean, if you don't get in trouble or something like that, and you've got your own little world that you're living in, you don't think you see it because the mainstream media is not going to show you. I mean, that's just the way it is. Um, and so anyway, they have financially ruined a few a few good people, um, just attacking them. Um, Actually, there's probably more than what we even know about, because I feel that because of um, my Facebook presence, that I was actually um, targeted on a few occasions for some things that never should have happened. Um, anyway, so they have no conscience, no ethics. They are Luciferians. They're satanic ritual abusers. They have committed crimes against humanity that are far worse than Mao, Hitler, Stalin, or Lenin, and other tyrannical historic entities, which I'll call them entities because I'm not even sure that they're people. You know, you kind of lose your humanity when you're trying to take others down. Um, and our only hope is to unite and fight, and uniting by way of ascension to what we were born to be. In fact, when we were born, we were probably more aware of the things that were going on around us than we are now. And we need to change that. We need to get in touch with our intellectual and our spiritual selves, and we can only achieve those things if we focus on the spiritual growth, and our spirit, mind, and body, to be strength with inner power. I've been trying to take some teachings from different people. I am kind of excited because I'm doing the workshops with Michael Jaco, and then some stuff with Jason Shirka as well. And it's pretty freeing, very enlightening. And then I saw some current events, and the one thing that I saw, let me see here. I sent it on my email. Get out of there. And current events. It was from MSN actually, which I thought was interesting that they actually did something like this. It was from the Torrance Daily Breeze, but MSN posted it online, um, which Torrance is down near LA. Uh, After the deaths of 9 Marines and the loss of 4 aircraft in 6 months, the Marine Corps officials announced Tuesday, June 14th, that all of its aviation units will be required to stop flying for a day to review safety procedures, address areas of concern, and gather feedback. Um, the units will need to do their stand down between June 21st and July 1st. The announcement follows a similar one-day safety pause, initiated by the Navy for its aviation units worldwide on Monday. On June 8th, a MV-22B Osprey crashed over a training range in the Imperial Valley, which is in the deserts um, east of LA. And let's see, where am I here? While doing aerial target exercises, all 5 Marines on board were killed. They were part of a Camp Pendleton squadron known as the Purple Foxes. The investigation into the crash is ongoing. Now, from what I've heard, people who know about aircraft say that the Osprey is not a particularly safe airplane or aircraft. Um, and they stopped actually using them. So I'm wondering what's going on here. Um, Four Marines and a second Marine aircraft wing based in Jacksonville, North Carolina, were killed March when an Osprey they were riding in went down during a training exercise in Norway. Last week, the Navy had a helicopter crash the day after the Osprey went down in the Imperial Valley near Glamis. The Navy helicopter crash was in the same general training area but had no significant injuries reported. Now, these are kind of odd, I think, and I think that there's something going on, um, especially when they have, obviously, if they're called the Purple Foxes, they have some sort of elite training or something like that because they don't usually name themselves unless they have some special trainings or whatever. I'm just this is very disturbing to me. Um, and I guess an FA-18E Super Hornet crashed on June 3rd in the deserts near Trona, killing its pilot. And the Navy helicopter crashed in the same general training area but had no significant injuries reported, which is another, key clue. Um, but it, I don't even know what to say because it kind of smells, if you get my drift. And in all the deep diving that I've done, you can usually smell a rat when things are going wrong in a certain vicinity or with certain types of aircraft or something like that. There's an underlying thing going on. And a lot of it has to do with, unfortunately,
Super Dad Luke here is helping his daughter with her science.
shoot, my fingers get happy here. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm be anxious to hear what is actually going on. Now, there've been quite a few things going on with the intel part. There's a lot of chatter about the fact that Nasara Jasara should be going through pretty soon, and we should be doing a bank run, and that sort of thing. And basically, if you don't know what Nasara Jasara is, I do have a video that I did when I first started this. And so if you want to kind of go back and watch that or watch it again, then you can see what's going on. Um, in a nutshell, it's a treaty between a lot of different countries in the world. And yes, I know it sounds like the New World Order, but it's not, because what it's doing is it's empowering those nations to be sovereign, but we will all be equal. Um, Instead of the dollar being the big kahuna, it's not going to be that way anymore. And that's probably a good thing because that's going to keep the bad guys from coming back here again and attempting to, take over. That's something that we all have to understand, is that there are things that have happened here. Um, I mean, they've done some really horrible things, and those things can never, ever happen again. Okay. And I know that we probably haven't cleaned it all up, but I know that the military is attempting to they've already gotten the big kingpins and they're gone. Um, and the tribunals are still going on, and they probably will be for a number of years, I would think. And if we're not I was gonna say if we can, we should probably keep those tribunals going because we have been in a state of war with those people. They don't care about us. They concocted some interesting cocktails, so to speak. Um, and people are dropping dead over it, you know? That's not an accident. That's not accidental at all. And what's very interesting is that I know that everybody who went into the doctor and was talked into one of these things, or they went in and they willingly did this, they all had to sign paperwork that they would never go after these people. Now, that should have been a big red flag. You know, you don't sign away your rights like that. There's nothing that's worth that. And there's a gentleman by the name of David Straight, too, which I think I've mentioned him before. And I have been watching some of his webinars or seminars or whatever that he does. And I've been watching them. Um, they've been recorded, and he's got a lot of great information and definitely something that we should all get into and really look at that and really figure out that this is really the way it's supposed to be. We never should have been in this position. Never. Our children never should have been taken and put into underground tunnels and things like that. That never should have happened, but it did. And we have to stop this. We have to stop it and we have to make sure that it never happens again. One thing that I have heard that they are planning on doing nationwide is to end CPS. Not saying that we don't need some sort of check and balance here, but the way that they treat parents, the one thing that I noticed, I used to do some volunteering with cooperative extension. And because I was a mom and I had 4 children that were grown and I was raising my grandson at the time, I went ahead and did a little checking around, and I started going to cooperative extension, and they had a thing where I worked with um, healthcare nurses that were in Washoe County Health Department. And they had young women that, were teenagers and had children, they had babies. And I would do home visits and I would, get paperwork and flyers and things like that so that they would have information to help them to cope with the fact that they were teenagers and they had a child to take care of. Most of the girls were very, very dedicated to their children. And it was quite easy to do that. Now, the one problem is that I had a couple of run-ins with CPS because they had like showed up on the doorstep and been causing these young girls problems, and they weren't doing anything wrong, you know. Yeah, maybe the house was a little bit dirty or, something like that, but it wasn't. Believe me, if I had seen something really bad, I would have said something to them and I would have guided them to fix it. Um, but that's just me. Anyway, so I've been hearing that they're going to dissolve CPS, which I think might be a good thing because there are a lot of CPS workers that had access to making identifications for children and then shipping them across borders and all of this stuff. People don't realize how many children disappear from the CPS system every year, and it's not parents taking them back. So, these are things that are really important that we need to keep track of. We need to know what's going on, and in order to do that, you have to start opening up your spirit and opening up to those things that are not good for humanity. I mean, it, we're dealing with some genocidal maniacs right now. I mean, this is genocide, and it truly is. Um, and I know that I may not be popular for saying this, but I live in a little town in Georgia that we have. It's probably half white, half black. And everybody gets along fine. We don't have any problems or anything like that. The only thing that I have a problem with is that, how do I say this without sounding racist? Because I'm not racist. It's more of a, I'm upset because they targeted black people with their commercials and things like that. These people are very, very frightened. They've even had, you know, they're still wearing masks. And, that we don't have to wear masks now. They're, testing kids as they come through the door with, checking their heads. I went to court and they're doing that at court in Alabama. And it's like, I can't believe this. I said, how long are we going to keep doing this? COVID was a joke. I mean, there were people that died, but they didn't die of COVID. They died of other things. And if you do your deep diving, you will find out. And I probably am going to get dinged for COVID. Oh well, covert. It's covert. At any rate. So I just thought I would check in with everybody and give you a little bit to think about, something to chew on. And I'm a little over 20 minutes, which is about where I like to be. And I want to go ahead and let you know that a digital warrior is still out there working for you guys to try to get you information and bring it to you. I would take any kind of, what's the word I want to use? Kind, critical on all of these videos that I do. I know, I have a different personality. I'm not like everybody else. I know that. Um, I come from a long line of military people, and I do like to have fun and that sort of thing. And I maybe dive a little too deep sometimes for most people's liking, but I got to tell you, you got to be aware of what's going on around you, or you could be the next victim, and you just have to keep that in mind. And until we get to the point where we're actually in that real jubilee, where we still cannot stop being diligent and take care of business and guard our children and guard our animals and guard our own homes and things like that. That's always going to be there because we live in a world of humans and probably some that aren't so human. Oh shoot, but that's the way it is. And I just wanted to kind of get that point out to you. I'm sorry, my dog keeps getting on and off the sofa, and I'm sitting here because my back is hurting and my knee keeps popping out of place. So anyway, all right. Well, I will be back on tomorrow, probably sometime after lunch. And I just wanted to jump on and show you what I had seen earlier today. So hang in there, and we'll talk to you soon. Tomorrow sometime. Bye.